Brian, to follow up, Ken Kramer, Space Up Close. Sometimes you, when you make these forecasts for SpaceX especially, you have a range of probabilities from the beginning to the end. Sometimes they get better, sometimes they get worse. I wonder if you have that for this launch.
That's a good question, and we do that because oftentimes with the Starlink launches, we might have a 4-hour launch window, and there could be a big difference from the start of the window versus the end of the window, or even sometimes it's in the middle of the window. That might look the best or the worst. So if we see a pretty strong trend, we do try to reflect that in our launch forecast. For tomorrow, as of right now, it's kind of hard to determine where exactly in the window that's going to be. I think there's a higher chance to see more cumulus cloud with the showers and thunderstorms early in the window potentially, depending on how far inland they get, whereas towards the end of the window might be more of an anvil concern, because I expect the showers and storms to be further inland, but there'll be more time for those upper level clouds to work their way back towards the coast. So it's one of those things. I think tomorrow we're going to have to see how the thunderstorms and showers play out, how far inland the sea breeze gets, and we'll have a better idea when we get on console as we go through the countdown. I think that's when we'll be able to hone in on when the best time in the window is.
Will you be able to inform us after NASA starts their TV broadcast of what it looks like?
Sure. So we'll do our best to relay on our forecasted probability of violation to the PA folks. As I mentioned, we'll have a few launch weather officers out here at the press site, and they'll see some of our latest communications. So we'll certainly do our best to get the latest forecasted probabilities out.
And Ken, we'll pass those on during the launch broadcast as well. As he said, we'll be in contact. All right, Jim, go ahead.
Hi, Jim Siegel again from Florida Media Now. A question for Pam. You mentioned about lightning, and some people say that Florida is the lightning capital of the United States, if not the world. And I'm interested in before a comparison of before the GOES process against now we have 4 GOES satellites. What's different in terms of how well or how differently you communicate about lightning then versus now?
This is the first time the U.S. has had an operational geostationary lightning mapper with the GLM series. And forecasters, it took a while, I think, for them to kind of realize what it could do. But the main thing that I hear from forecasters is they have more confidence in a forecast right now. If they see a storm, there's a lot of lightning, they can say that's really going to be severe. You know, I'm really going to issue that warning. That, you know, they have more confidence in doing that and defining where that warning, you know, geographically applies to when they put that out. But we're also learning things about lightning as a phenomena. With GLM, we've actually seen the world record-long lightning strike of 477 miles. Nobody had any idea, I don't think, that they could be that long. And that one touched ground like 100 different times along its path. So, you know, this is other interesting phenomena we're seeing with the lightning mapper is sometimes fires have enough smoke that they've got enough updraft that they actually form clouds, and those clouds can have lightning. So sometimes the fires can, you know, create some lightning that continues them. And so there's interesting things like that that you know, now that we've got that constant view up there, we're really seeing some interesting phenomena that's improving our understanding of weather systems, as well as being the day-to-day, you know, help that the forecaster needs and that confidence.
Good answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I'll just add in here, as somebody who forecasts lightning here in Florida quite often, I can tell you it's been very helpful having GLM, being able to see the lightning, and also forecasting the onset of lightning before it occurs. The more rapid scan rates that we get from GOES, we can see those storms as they're starting to grow. And that can be really helpful here in Florida, where we get rapid convection. So you could get a cell go from almost nothing to a thunderstorm in a very short amount of time. So having a more rapid scan rate where we can see the cloud as it's growing is very helpful to forecast the onset of lightning before it even occurs.
And one other point, it's just a great example, as Pam was mentioning, about fires creating its own lightning in some cases. When you look at a phenomenon with a whole different perspective, like looking at lightning while you're looking at imagery for storms and things, you see connections that were never available or never visible before. So bringing together different observations of the same phenomenon reveals new understanding of it. And that's what one of the things GeoXO is going to be doing by bringing not just lightning mapper and high-resolution imagery, but hyperspectral sounding and ocean color observations and atmospheric composition observations, looking at all those different, with many different viewpoints of the same phenomenon. You see connections and interdependencies that were not available before, which gives you a much better understanding of the complexity of the phenomenon and your ability to forecast it as well.
And since we're talking about capabilities, I'm seeing a lot of chatter online. We at NASA invite people to be a part of the conversation by using the hashtag AskNASA. So there's actually a question from social media right now. How far from space can the GOES-U identify a fire-based event, and why is that important when fighting wildfires? Pam, did you want to start that? Or?
Yeah, sure. Well, the main camera on GOES-U, like GOES-R, it'll be looking at the entire Western Hemisphere once every 10 minutes, the entire U.S. every 5 minutes, and again, it's zooming